Hey friends, welcome back to Hooked and Steep with Lynn. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so excited to share today's video with you all. It's going to be a good one. And I have to start off by saying that this video came about because I am obsessed with this new Bernat Maker Splash yarn. New to me anyway. I do think it's new-ish. It may not be brand new, but I don't think it's been around long if it's been out for that long. And I'm obsessed with it. Bernat Maker Splash, I love it. I wish I had bought more of it when I was buying yarn, but as y'all know, I am trying to go as far as I can into 2026 without buying any new yarn. I'm gonna try hard. We do have the big knit and crochet fiber art show next month. There might be a little buying there. We'll see. If we are, I'm going with, like I said, I'm trying to be more intentional with the yarn I buy this year, making sure I actually have an idea of what I'm going to do with it and not just buying it and then trying to figure out what I need. Because not only does that help me use my yarn up, but it also makes me sure I'm buying enough of the yarn I need to make what I want. So, but I do wish I had bought more of this yarn. I love it. I will link it down below. I got mine off Yarn Inspirations. For those of you who are not in a no buying yarn year, I will link it down below so you can purchase it. And I'm sure, I don't know if it's anywhere else. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but we're in Canada, so we don't always see things on shelves, if ever, or for a very long time. And I shared on my live a few weeks ago the first thing I made with the tealy blue color, which was a grocery bag. And this is the grocery bag. 100% my pattern, just made it up as I went. And you all absolutely loved it. And so many of you asked if I would share the pattern, like do a video and share the pattern for this. Well, I didn't want to make another grocery bag. I wanted to make a bag / purse that I could use every day. So that's how this what I am calling the Cherry Blossom Farmhouse messenger bag. And I used the same stitch as I did on the grocery bag. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to make this. Now I'm going to say right up front, I am not a formal crochet pattern designer. Not at all. I'm a crocheter who, I do follow patterns a lot. Sometimes I follow them exactly. Sometimes I change them. I kind of cook and bake the same way. Sometimes I follow the pattern exactly, and other times I change it up. I don't always set out to do it on purpose. It just so happens while I'm doing it. So the pattern for this bag is going to be simple, straightforward. I will write it out, and it will be in the description down below. It's not going to have any pictures or anything like that. It's going to be straightforward, following along with the video instructions, because I think a lot of us crochet like that. We kind of crochet as we go and maybe tweak some things, or not always looking for an insanely detailed pattern. And by that, I mean like diagrams and everything. We just want simple wording, simple stitches, easy to follow. But before we jump into the tutorial for the messenger bag, I'm so excited to share this with you all. I love how that turned out, and I love the name Cherry Blossom Farmhouse messenger bag. Cherry Blossom because it just screams to me cherry blossoms. I love cherry blossoms, love, love, love them, and I love the color, and to me it just says cherry blossom. Farmhouse is because that's what I call the stitch that I used. I don't know why, I just did. I also want to share with you my new mug that I picked up at Hobby Lobby when we were away last week, David and I. I absolutely love it. Esther was one of my grandmother Lyons's favorite stories in the Bible, so when I saw that, I knew I had to get it for her. And today we are drinking Irish breakfast, lots of caffeine because I need it. I haven't been sleeping the best, honestly, because a lot of stuff going on, some from the trip and things. It's going to be a busy year for us here. So the next thing we need to deal with is, obviously January ended. We're a few months into February already. And I need to make my first ornament for the year. I mentioned this, I think, my goal or a haul or some video. If I can find it, I can remember what video I shared it in, because y'all know my memory stinks. I will share it here somewhere at the end, or in the description box. It'll be shared somewhere. But anyway, I saw this on, I think, Pinterest or somewhere, and I loved it, where you should save your scraps from your yarn, and you can do this with fabric, whatever art you partake in, and you save them up all month, and at the end of the month, you put them into a clear ornament, and you do 12 every month. And then in December on your tree, oh, I guess we have to wait till the end of December, but you will have 12 ornaments to hang on your tree and have memories of what you made throughout the year. And I loved that. I thought that was a great idea. So I picked up several clear ornament bulbs at Michael's when they were like 90% off. Our Dollar Tree still had some. I think they're starting to pack them up, but they had them clearance too. So I bought packs of 6 like this, and I also bought a pack of 4 larger ones in case it's thicker yarn or things in other months, to make sure they all fit. So we're gonna make our first one today, so we can start saving all the scraps from this month, which I have already in the container that I'm saving them in to get ready for February's bulb. So this are all the scraps from this month of everything I made. And am I going to get everything in there? Maybe not. Did I save every single thing? Pretty much. But we're going to start off with, so this was the yarn that I made the red heart squares. So we're just going to pop our top off the ornament. And I might need to get, I think I do have, yes, I have like a stick I use to put stuffing into plushies that I can use. Right here. So yep, this was yarn that, actually I'm using these to make squares to make a blanket for my Vit bed. And I made a lot while we were traveling and while we were in Maine, all last long weekend that we took there. And okay, this is from the wall hanging that I shared with you all last week. You all were so kind in your comments too about how much you liked it, so thank you for that. And that had a little bit of purple in it too. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to tag these for months. I thought about using my Cricut and just doing the month in a sticker across here. I thought about making a tag. I'm still thinking on it, so having this video will help me remember, okay, that was January's. This is from the Dollar Tree, the things I made from the Dollar Tree, that bunny, and ear warmers and gloves that I showed that you don't have to spend a lot of money to start crocheting. This is from my first hexagon sweater that I made using the Karen Anniversary Christmas Holiday cake yarn. Technically, I started it in December, but the majority of it was made and finished in January, so I'm going to put that in there. I have to say, this holds a lot of yarn. The velvet yarn from the Dollar Tree video, we want to put that in there because I made scrunchies out of those. And Easter eggs. So these are things that I actually will be keeping for myself. We made the plant hanger out of the blue navy, the navy color chenille. About added. Trying to think what else we made. Technically, I think I finished, yes, I finished Aiden's sweater in January, and I do believe there's some yarn in here for that. So, right there. I am going to add that. I know I started it in time for Christmas, but I finished it in January, so this is going to be so much fun on my Christmas tree this year and help me remember everything that I made. That was the bunny. And we might see more of this yarn for the one I'm making for my blanket because I need a lot, whoops, a lot of squares for that. We have a king-size bed and I want to make it big enough to fit over the sides. So we're going to need a lot. So like I said, I know I saved way too much, but I think I'm going to add another shade from my hexagon sweater because that did have several colors in it. I've been getting so many compliments on that when I took it home with us on our little trip, and more people commented on it when I wore it out. So our Bernat Maker Splash yarn, where I made the grocery bag. The rest is just overabundance of yarn. I did not need to save. I just was saving everything. Oh, I also made my headscarf with that yarn, which I will share too. I made a headscarf with that Bernat Maker Splash that matches my grocery bag. And I will be making some with the color we did the messenger bag in. Put the top back on, and there we go. There's our first ornament of everything we made in the month of January. I can't wait to fill these each month. This is also what I made with that Bernat's Maker Splash yarn. Say that 5 times fast. Little head scarf that goes on my head. Whoops. Yeah, it will go. My hair's not looking tad bad today, so I'm just going to show. So it just goes like this, and you tie it. I've made several of these in different yarns. I love them. So I'll be making another one with that other yarn. So love this yarn. I forgot to also introduce you to Hamish. Say hello, everyone. This is a weighted, and it also a weighted stuffy, but it also has a heating pad in it. My mother gave it to me when we were down, and I love it. I have to say, I sat with it, heated up the inside, and just laid with it. The heat felt great, but the weightedness also helped with my anxiety. I've been experiencing a lot more anxiety lately, and I know it's because A, I'm not sleeping well, haven't been eating great because I'm an emotional eater, and I've been letting my emotions dictate my eating habits, so that's not great. So that causes more anxiety, and just everything that's going to be happening this year is starting to really get to me and just makes me nervous and stressed out. So that really helped the other day. So I've named him Hamish. I think it's a great Scottish name for a great Scottish Highland cow, and I just think he's adorable. His legs are weighted, and his middle is weighted. And yep, and he has a nice little heating pad that stays warm a long time. I was shocked at how long it stayed warm. So our new addition to the family, Hamish. Okay, let's jump to the tutorial for the Farmhouse messenger bag. This is the yarn we are going to be using to make our purse. It's their Bernat Maker Splash. I love this yarn. The grocery bag that I showed you a few minutes ago that I made with the blue colors, I love it. It was lovely to work with. Comfortable. It's not too thick that it hurts your hands. I really, really liked this yarn. Highly recommend, and I will link it, if I can, I will link it down below for those of you who are not doing a no-buy yarn this year. Okay, it says 8 here, but I think they're talking about the pattern. They used a 6. I'm also using a 6 because 8 just would make the holes much too big. You could line this if you want. I'm not going to, but yeah, so 6. So we are going to try and find the center. I did cake one ball already, but I wanted to show you it in the skein because there's one negative I can say about this yarn is the yarn barf is awful. So there we go. I mean, I certainly have had worse, and it doesn't tangle like normal yarn. I'm sure it's because of it's nylon, right? So much nylon. It's 75% cotton, 25% nylon. So, okay, we need to find the end. There it is. Okay, we are going to chain 36. And you're going to skip 2 chains. So the 3rd chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, and we're going to do that all the way down until we get to the end. Okay, when you get to the end of the row, you are going to chain 2, turn, and continue doing the same pattern for 60 rows, always chaining 2 at the end. So we're just going to keep going until you get to 60 rows, and we'll see you back here for the next part. Okay, so this is where you're going to be for 60 rows. So we're just going to ignore this part right here. I don't have enough yarn to make another whole one with you at the same time. So I went ahead, and this is one I've had made. So, and I'm a little bit further ahead, but I'm going to still show you the next step. So, like I said, you're going to go to 60 rows, okay? So on row 61, we are going to start our decrease, and I will show you that on this one that we were making. Okay, so you get to end of row 60. You're going to chain 2, just like we've been doing. I'm going to get this out of the way for a minute. And you're going to single crochet decrease 1, so into 2 stitches, and then you're going to continue the pattern. Single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, all the way down until you get to the last 2 stitches. We're down to our last 2 stitches, and we're just going to decrease again. Single crochet, chain 2, and then we're just going to do the same pattern. So we're going to do single crochet, half double, single crochet, half double, and we're going to do that for 15 more rows. This is where we are. We've done 15 more rows. This is the flap that's going to go over, so it's just got a little bit different size, a little bit different style, just to differentiate it from the rest of the bag. So now we are going to fasten, or we're going to cut off that. Okay, we're going to set this aside for a minute, and now we're going to do the strap, our sides, and our strap. Okay, so right now we just have a long, what looks like a table runner with a little bit tapered here at the end, but this is going to be a bag. So now we're going to do, so this is our bag. So we need our sides, obviously, sides, and our handle. Now we're going to make the sides and the handle. It's going to be all one long piece. We're going to chain 12. And 3rd chain from the hook, single crochet, half double. So the same pattern we used to make the purse. And we're going to do that all the way across till we get to the end. To chain 2. And you're going to repeat that for the length that you want. I did 50 inches. I already got one done here, and I made mine 50 inches. So this is up to you how long you want your strap. I'm going to recommend you do at least 43, 44 if you use the same yarn and follow the same pattern. Otherwise, your handles are going to be very, very small, and you'll have a hard time opening. They're going to be very short, rather, and you're going to have a hard time opening the purse. But I did about 50, 51 inches, which seemed to be the length I want. So you're just going to continue until you get your length, and then we're going to attach it to the purse. So I have my long strip here, and first I am going to sew in my ends here. So we're going to sew in all the ends, and then we're going to pin this to this before we sew it. All our ends are sewn in. So now I'm going to attach. So I like to use my stitch markers to hold them together. One, it gives you a chance to see roughly what it's going to look like when it's all together, and it helps you hold everything together while you're sewing it. So we're going to dig out a few of these stitch markers. You could use safety pins, whichever you want to use. this looks. And I think I need to attach, yeah. Okay, so that's that. So I need to attach a few more here. How I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few more in a couple spots here. And there's a couple of ways you can attach these. So you can either crochet. I would probably recommend a single crochet, or you can sew it on with a long strand of yarn. I think I'm going to crochet it. Keep the flap up here out of the way for now. So we're going to attach. I'm going to attach down here at the bottom. And I'm going to try and match up my corners as best I can. And I am going to make a slip knot. Put it on my hook, pull that through, chain one, and just single crochet the stitches going down. It's thick, so it is going to be a little bit. If you find it easier, you certainly could sew. In a way, I would find sewing easier, except I'd have to constantly get new yarn, because I would not cut a strip of yarn as long as I would need, because it's bound to get tangled or whatever. But I do like the finished look of the single crochet versus sewing. But that's what's great about this. You make it your own. And right where I need to go, there's a stitch marker, so we're going to take that out. Go all the way up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do when I get to the top where it meets the flap. So we get to the top where the flap and the purse meet, right here. We're going to skip this part that is the flap, and we're going to start single crocheting up this side of the strap until we get all the way around to this side, where we'll go back until we get to where the strap and the sides meet, and then we'll go down that side, over, back up this way, back around the strap again, and back down this side. Okay, so we're going to just continue single crocheting all the way up around the strap side here. This also gives it a finished look. So we're just going right up the side of the strap. And I'll meet you back when I am back on this side, ready to attach it to the sides again. Okay, so now I've gone all around the strap, and we're going to start attaching the sides back to the strap again. And it's the row right before we started decreasing to make the flap. And you're just going to include them, both the sides in the strap, just like we did going up the other way. And we're going to go all the way down till we get to the corner. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing, just coming up the other side. Once we reach the top of the side, we just continue, we stop including both the purse and the strap, and just go up the side of the strap till we get to the other side, come back down. We'll cut, once we get to the end, cut it off, and then we will have to weave in our ends. Okay, I'm done, and I've sewed my ends in. And because we have so much yarn left, quite a bit, I am going to make a pocket inside to hold my purse, and maybe even a bigger pocket to like hold my keys and things. So I'm going to flip this inside out. Actually, I'm going to see which side I like better. Okay, this is going to be the inside. So when we flip it back over, so I'm going to make a pocket right here. I'm going to chain, I'm just going to do single crochet rather, to keep the holes as small as possible so nothing falls through. So that's 20. That's perfect. And then I'm just going to go across until I get the length I want, and then I'll sew it on, and then I will measure one from my phone and sew that on the other side. Okay, I've made my pockets. So the first one is for my phone. All I did was just make sure it would fit my phone. Everyone's phone is going to be different. For mine, I end up chaining, I think it was 12. I did 12, and then I just did single crochet all around, and I just did a single crochet stitch. So I've already flipped my bag inside out, but I marked with my stitch markers where I want this to go. I'm worried this is going to be a little too big. We're going to go with it. We'll see how it happens. And I did leave an extra long string because I want to use that. I hope I left enough. I have some on this side too to sew it to the bag. And another pocket too. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to add it yet. I think I am, because I do like someplace like to put my car keys and, you know, lip balm or a crochet hook, depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going. It didn't look that big, but my phone is quite large. At least my kids are always telling me it's a huge phone. I don't think it's that big, but so what I'm doing is I'm going through the stitch on the pocket, these two stitches on the side, and then going almost like when you weave in ends. So I'm not going through the whole purse, so I can hide my stitches so you won't see them when this purse is turned right side out. I'm going to try in the air here. So I'm taking these two stitches here, okay, and then I'm like, just like if you were weaving in, I'm just catching the top of a couple of the stitches on the purse itself right here and sliding down. Oh, I don't want that one. There we go. And you can't see the stitches on this side. Okay, I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other pocket if I decide to add it. We're going to see. Okay, it's all sewn on. Oh, it fits perfect. I didn't want it too big. I wanted it literally to just fit. So let's flip it back outside right. I'm also debating on adding 2 buttons on the side here. Oh, we still have, oh, that's right, the other one's there still. Adding 2 buttons here to kind of help keep this flap down. And I think they don't have to be very big, and I think because we're...
What's so wonderful about this yarn is it has quite a bit of stretch, so we can make the buttons work on this if you do want to add them.
But sure, I think I can fit 2 small buttons there. I'm thinking about doing that. I think I am going to sew on the other pocket. Yep, I am. Okay. So I'm just going to sew that one on. And while I'm sewing on, I'm going to think about the buttons. I do think I'm going to, because I just don't think the flap will stay down. I think it's always going to curl up on me. even if I block it. Eventually it's going to, but I'll think about it for a sec. And we are going to add, second pocket is all attached. And I have decided, I think I am going to go do 2 buttons, so I got to go find some buttons. But I wanted to show you, this is how much I still have left of that yarn. I had a little less than this, obviously, because the other bag I made with the other color was a bigger reusable grocery bag. But I made a headscarf out of the leftover from the other one, and I'm going to do the same with this. Might even be able to make 2, not 100% sure, but have I told you how much I love this yarn? Okay, so I went through all my buttons, and I have a lot of pink and reddish pink and white ones, which I'm happy about, but I don't have a lot that match, and the ones I really want I don't have 2 of. So I've picked these out. I think these ones are going to be too big, and these are the ones I really would like to go with. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it through. Oh, I might be able to. Okay, we're going to try these 2. I got to go find some thread and figure out where I'm going to put this and mark the spots. 4 inches. So across the same row. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches, or 4 stitches rather. Okay, let's try that. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think it's amazing. I'm so glad I did the pockets. My phone fits in the one pocket perfectly. I can fit my car keys, my hand cream, my lip balm, and of course a crochet hook in the other pocket. It's comfortable. If you're wondering why the strap's so large or so wide, it's because I have a lot of bad back. I have a bad back. A very bad back, and the wider the strap, the easier it is on my back. So that made it much more comfortable. But like I said in the video where I showed you how to make this, it's totally, but like I said during the tutorial, it is totally customizable. If you wanted a little bit thinner, you absolutely could do that. But I am so happy with the way it turned out. I'm happy I put the buttons on. I'm glad I did that. And it's washable, 100% washable. So if this gets dirty, you can just throw it in the wash and you're good to go. So I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you all enjoy it. Like I said, I do think this is a beginner project. Absolutely. I do not think this is even advanced beginner. As long as you know single crochet and half double crochet, sewing on the pieces might be a little more difficult, so maybe a little bit of advanced beginner. I don't know. I'm terrible with the terms. I don't even know what to call myself. I don't, when you see the patterns that say beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, expert, I have no idea what what those are, but I definitely don't let this intimidate you. Believe me, if I can make this on the fly without any pattern and trying to write it down as I went so I could share it with all of you, anybody can do it. I promise. So you'll have to let me know down in the comments, are you going to make this? Do you like this yarn, the Bernat Maker Splash? If you've used it before, let me know. I love it. I do have one more ball of it in a teal, which I'm thinking about making into a couple of baskets. I haven't decided yet because it's my last ball, and I do still have quite a bit of this left. Like, I'm going to make another headscarf, and there might even be enough for 2 there. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure how much it will take, but I have more left of that than I did the other one, and I still even had a teeny tiny bit left of the blue one, making the grocery bag and the headscarf. So yes, Bernat Maker Splash yarn. I love it. I wish I had more of it. That's it for today's videos, friends. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We are growing daily here on the channel, and that's because of all of you who hype, share, comment, like. Thank you so much. I am over 2,000 subscribers now. Every day it seems I gain several more every single day. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. I wish I had the words to tell you how much I appreciate it, but all I can say is thank you. But it has been such a pleasure and joy to be doing this channel. I wish I had gotten off my duff and started it even sooner. I've been thinking about it for months before I finally did it. So don't forget, we will be live again this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So grab a cup of tea or coffee or beverage, grab your current and whip, come on by, and we will just be chatting and crocheting or knitting or quilting, whatever you're doing during the chat, and just touching base and catching up. And I will talk a little bit more about our trip last weekend and why we went. So until then, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.